My name is Lucy Earl. I studied marketing communications at the University of Westminster, and my channel is called English with Lucy. It all started because I was doing a placement year in Madrid and the company shut down, so I found myself jobless, started teaching, and I realised that I couldn't really teach any grammar because I didn't know any. So I started watching YouTube teachers teaching grammar online, and I noticed there was a bit of a gap in the market. The videos were quite boring in front of a normal dirty whiteboard. So I took a £500 business loan from my dad, bought a camera and a tripod, and started it. So I realised there was a gap in the market because I was watching other teachers and how they were teaching on YouTube to try and understand how to better explain terms and vocabulary to my students. But I found the videos quite boring. They were very, very long. I was actually putting them in double speed to try and get to the interesting bit. And I thought to myself, an English learner is never going to be able to understand this. So I decided to take the sort of traditional model for a YouTuber. I mean, if you look at my videos, I could, without any sound, I could be explaining makeup or something like that. But actually, the content's really educational. So I use every video as a learning opportunity. I accept that not every video is going to be successful, and I try and work out why it's not or why it is, and then slowly you can see how my videos have evolved. They started off with me in front of a whiteboard. It was quite nicely done. And then I tried lots of other things. I tried vlogging, that didn't work as well. I tried adding in my own special effects, that did work. I tried collaborations, some worked, some didn't. So really it's trial and error. So I'd love to say it's something like instant engagement or, you know, a good reach, but really YouTube seemed to be the best platform on which I could make money. It was the only platform really offering good monetization options. So that was the initial thought. I started it as a hobby, but with a sort of view to make it into a business if possible. I didn't go directly into it thinking this is going to make me a millionaire, but I did think, you know, I wanted to be sensible about how I went about it. The hardest thing about working with YouTube is, hands down, trolls and haters and hate comments. So I get around 2.5 million views a month. If you think that just 1% of those views might come from people who don't like the video, imagine how many negative comments that could be. I think it's around 250,000. So, I mean, when I started the channel, it wasn't so much of a problem. And then when I started getting hate comments, I would take them very personally, but now I get so many that they just go straight over the top of my head and I don't let them affect me. The best thing about working with YouTube, and especially setting up a business on YouTube, is the fact that you can do it with such little capital. I started with a £500 business loan from my dad and I paid it back with interest. But I bought a second-hand camera, I bought a second-hand tripod and a second-hand lens and just started talking. I did it with natural light. And then gradually, as I earned more and more, I would just invest that money back into the business. And I started buying better equipment, upgrading gradually. But the best thing about it is that you don't need a huge investment to start. I always tell people, just think about what you can do on social media and YouTube before you go to a crowdfunding website or you go to angel investors or something like that, because you've got a lot of opportunity there. One highlight, oh, that's impossible because there's been so many. Definitely, I mean, it's all relative. So when I hit my first 1,000 views on a video, that was a massive highlight. And then when I hit 100,000 subscribers, I never thought I would feel happier than I did on that day. But then the other day I hit 500,000 and I thought, well, that's my peak happiness. And honestly, so many highlights. But I think actually, I would definitely say the opportunities for travel, working with big brands, basically everything I ever wanted to do, social media, marketing, running a business, being on YouTube, I now get to do, and I'm ecstatic about it. So the most common question that I get is, how do you make money on YouTube? And I'm really happy to answer it because I think people really need to understand how the sort of business model can work. So I earn my income through various different revenue streams. The main one is the ad revenue. So those annoying adverts at the beginning of YouTube videos, they make a small amount of income for me. And then you get things through affiliate links. If I recommend a grammar book, for example, or a certain product and somebody buys it through my link, then I'll get a little bit of money from that. Sponsored content, that's a big contender. Sponsored content is basically a brand paying you to make a video about their product or service or mention them in a video. You have to be careful with things like that because it's very easy to alienate your audience. So you want to keep that under control and only choose brands that really fit with your brand because your channel is your brand. Apart from that, speaking at events, attending events, other products, I'm developing my own products at the moment, an English course and some other secret things which are very exciting. But yeah, there's loads of different revenue streams, which means it's really exciting, also quite risky because I can't have a strict salary. So tip number 1, study your competition, know them inside out. Now, when I say competition, I don't mean that they're your enemies. I mean, look at other people who are doing similar things to you. Study where they're going right and where they're going wrong as well. You want to eliminate their mistakes from your business plan and the way you're working, and you want to take what they're doing correctly and do it even better. You also want to study your competition to make sure that you can deviate away from them and make sure that you're in a niche market. The reason that my channel's done so well is because it's niche. At the time when I started it, I was the only person doing what I was doing in that specific way. So tip number 2 is, if you're gonna work with social media, especially YouTube, start it as a hobby because it's not going to make money immediately. It took me 8 months of real hard work to make it at all profitable. If you're at university at the moment, you are in the perfect situation to start a YouTube channel because you have time. You've got your studies, but it's not full-time. You've got extra hours in the day. It's when you start a full-time job, that's when it becomes difficult to find the hours to do it. Start it as a hobby. Don't expect any money from it. Keep the passion alive, and if it becomes profitable in the end, then that's awesome. Tip number 3 is to do with avoiding burnout and making sure you are consistent. If you're creating video content, get used to block shooting. This is when you shoot loads and loads of videos in one day. I can bang out like 7 videos in a day and then spend my time afterwards editing them. And this helps me avoid burnout because I've always got videos in the background that I can work on if I don't feel like filming in a day. Because sometimes I'll have a shower, do my hair, do my makeup, get in front of the camera, and it doesn't happen. And it's really depressing because you've then got all these deadlines that you've set yourself because you're your own boss. And yeah, when you're feeling motivated, make the most of it. Block shoot if you can. If that's not exactly what your business is about, then make sure you do something else. Write lots and lots of blog posts or take lots and lots of photos, something like that. But try and avoid burnout because it is hell. Okay, a day in the life is quite difficult because every day is so different. One day I can be on set in Miami, and then the next day I can be in my dressing gown staring at my own face for 8 hours eating popcorn. So it's a bit difficult to say, but it involves a lot of emails, a lot of back and forth, a lot of negotiation, a lot of saying no, which is my new favourite word, the art of saying no. Because I used to say yes to everything in April, and then in July it would all come to bite me. No day is the same. It's very diverse. A YouTuber life is not glamorous. Sometimes, I'd say 5% of the time, I feel so glamorous, like I'm at an event or a premiere. But most of the time I am sweaty in front of a camera, in my dressing gown, editing, running around late after meetings. Yeah, it's not glamorous at all. On camera, I can make myself look perfect, but you just need to realise that behind the scenes, I'm like sweating. I probably haven't got my dress zipped up at the back. Like, it's not glamorous at all. So it's really hard to predict where it's going to go. I would really like to, in a year's time, hit 1 million subscribers. But it's kind of difficult to say because social media can change so quickly. So at the moment I'm focusing on not having all of my eggs in the YouTube basket. I'm trying to create my own things, have lots of diverse revenue streams as well. I mean, if you asked me a year ago, I had just graduated from the University of Westminster. If you'd asked me a year ago, where do you think you'd be? I'd no way say that I'd have 600,000 subscribers and be doing this full time. So who knows? Hi, I'm Lucy Earl, founder of the YouTube channel English with Lucy and graduate of the University of Westminster. Come join me on campus to find out what it takes to be a YouTuber.